Welcome to the B-Rad podcast. Aloha everyone and welcome to the B-Rad podcast. We're trying some new things here and this is our first long form YouTube podcast style video. And it's all about collaboration. It's all about new fun things that we're learning from some of Hawaii's creatives. And today I have a very special, an awesome friend of mine here, Jody Kamisato. He started an ukulele school called Ukulele Hale. We've done a couple of trips to Japan documenting some of the things out there and all around just love this guy like a brother. He's super talented, but just an amazing human. So I'm super stoked to have him on the podcast today. With that, welcome Jody.
Aloha, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
So Jody, we've known each other for a few years now. I got a call from a slipper company about a project that you were doing, going out to Japan, traveling with two ukulele phenoms, Honoka and Azita, going around and playing some benefit concerts around Tohoku, Kesennuma. We went to Yokohama. We went all over the place. Mm-hmm. But you've been making music for a long time. Can you tell me a little bit of your background, how you got started playing music, teaching music, and all those fun details?
Sure, it's been a crazy ride, but I started music actually. My grandma used to play ukulele, and so when she would babysit me, that was the only way I think she got my attention. And ever since then, I fell in love with ukulele and music. But my dad was in a rock band. He was in a surf rock band called The Morticians. Wow. And yeah, it's pretty uplifting. But actually, they played surf rock music. And so I grew up listening to like the 50s, 60s, 70s type of music. And it wasn't until high school that I got into music. There was a band called Pure Heart, John Yamasato, Lopaka Cologne, and Jake Shimabukuro. Yep. And they were amazing, such great dynamics. But Jake just blew me away with his ukulele wizardry. You know, I'm playing behind the head and just, it was crazy. So I just called him up. I was like, hey, Jake, can I sign up for ukulele lessons? And, you know, I got fully into it. I just started practicing. I mean, 8, 9, 10 hours a day was normal.
Wow.
Literally locked myself in a room, skip meals. And a few years later, Jake had opened a school called Ukulele Academy and asked me to teach with him. And so that's how I got my start teaching. Fell in love with teaching. A year later, Jake closed on the school due to his success with his solo career as a performer. So he signed with Sony. And I still love teaching. So his brother, Bruce Shimabukuro, who's 5 years younger than Jake, and I started teaching in their garage. And then a few years later, we found this location in Kamaki called Ukulele Essence. And we started a school together. And in 2007, opened my own school called Ukulele Hale. And today we have, there's 4 instructors and we have over 200 students.
And for our friends who aren't really familiar with Hawaiian, can you explain what ukulele hale means?
Sure. So ukulele in Hawaiian means jumping fleas. So uku means fleas and lele means jumping. You know, because when the Portuguese immigrants came to Hawaii, they played the ukulele so fast that it looked like jumping fleas. So the Hawaiians were like, hey, that's it, ukulele, jumping fleas. And hale in Hawaiian means home. And the reason why was I really wanted to create an environment that felt comfortable for people. So when they come in, they take off their shoes. We have a coffee table. We have couches. You know, they come in, they feel like they're at home. And so for many students now, they feel, they at least have told me that ukulele hale feels like their second home.
And that's really, really important because, I mean, you're teaching a lot of young kids and they go to school all day for much of their life. So going somewhere else that feels like school where it's super rigorous probably isn't the most inviting environment or maybe conducive even to learning for them.
Sure.
But I've taken ukulele lessons before and it very much felt like studious and very traditional education kind of formats. But I love how you teach in that regard, bringing people into your home makes it feel more like Kanekapila or jamming or
It is, it is. And I kind of grew up like that with, you know, my friends and just playing in the backyard. And that's where my learning really took place because I felt comfortable. We were just having fun. And so, you know, initially when we got the building, it was a dentist's office, that space. And it felt very sterile, white walls, gray carpet. You felt like you were in a dentist's office, and I just did not want to be there. So I said, we got to make some changes. We renovated, brought in some interior designers, and friends helped me out, you know, warmed up the studio. We got colors from the ukulele wood to make it feel very earthy, organic, and changed up the carpets, kind of feng shui the place as well, you know. So it's really cool. And so it's a space where you come in, you have people just jamming, you know, in the waiting room. We have board games. There's always snacks and food. And then by the time they go into their lessons, you know, they're just set, they're ready. And then they come out, and then you have this cool, fun dynamics with students kind of bonding, you know, through music in we call it living room now, but it's like a waiting room.
That's awesome. I love that there's a little bit of prep time involved in the whole lesson kind of arrangement, because you do need to warm up, not just your fingers, but also your personality when you're going in and you're being vulnerable and showing off what you've learned, or being teachable actually starts with getting your heart and your mind right.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And tell me about your transition. I mean, you've gone from playing music to teaching music and traveling and sharing your music around the world. What was kind of the catalyst for that, and how did that get started?
You know, there was just so many different experiences that I've been through, and there was one moment where I was in South Africa and I was playing for these kids, and I just remember that feeling where I wasn't able to communicate through language, but that ukulele really and music truly is the universal language of mankind, and I got it because I remember playing, and I just remember looking around this space and just connecting with these kids on a different level. And so I knew that music is very powerful, and I knew that there's so much more we can do with music. And so that's something that that memory is something that's ingrained in me, and it's become a part of my vision, where I want to teach our students that they can share their music, share the aloha, and hopefully enrich other people's lives. And you know, that experience really opened so many different ideas of what we can do with, I call it a gift, you know, and so that's something that I hopefully we can perpetuate with our students, and in turn they can continue that, I guess, legacy of sharing their music and aloha with the world. And so I started not only teaching our students theory, you know, the theory part or the musicality, but it was how can we incorporate showmanship, stage presence, and in turn also utilizing those skills to go out into the community, maybe going into hospitals. So we have a great relationship with Shriners Hospitals, Kapilani Hospital. You know, we've been touring Japan to orphanages, and you kind of see that magic of music and how it's good medicine, it's healing, it's unity, it's peace, joy, you know, all these great things. And that's so much more than you can learn in just sitting in a classroom. And so a lot of what we do is going out into the communities, immersing ourselves with the people, connecting with people. And it's humbling. It's such a really great life tool and skill that I want to share and also develop within my students and myself.
And you've had opportunities to play at Aulani. How did that transpire?
Yeah, that was a cool gig. We actually were, my group is called Heart and Soul, and our initial member, Chris, he incredibly talented. We were performing at this Paina event in Kaneohe for this hula halau, which was a friend of mine. And someone in the audience was scout. He was actually a scout or helping Aulani form this magical show called the Starlit Hui. And so I just got a call saying, hey, you know what? You guys just rocked and put on an amazing performance, and we would love for you to come down and audition. We're looking for a special featured act for the Starlit Hui show. And so we went in not really knowing anything. We were kind of naive, actually. And they gave us some moves to do, like spinning the ukulele. And so kind of went in there like I was actually really nervous. End up falling flat on my back. And I was like, I just totally messed this up for us. And I was like, Chris, I'm so sorry, you know. And they're like, you know what? Hey, you made it to like the top 10 or whatever. And then it became the top 3. And then we went in for another audition, and they're like, congratulations, you guys got the part. And so we were part of their Starlit Hui show, which was amazing. It was such a great platform for me. You know, really learned a lot of skills, not just the musicality, but I guess as an entertainer. And so you learn how to connect with the audience, being on stage and commanding the stage, showmanship, stage presence. Yeah, so it was a cool 5-year gig.
And I mean, music, which started off as just this living room kind of get together with grandma, eventually it evolved into you becoming more of a technician in your abilities to play, going out, sharing that music with the world, and then being able to share it even locally with the world through this big Disney hotel. And Disney doesn't take, just anybody. You have to be not just talented, but you have to be an amazing ambassador of what Disney wants to represent, as well as what their hotel brand is going to do. And you guys were part of that beginnings.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like amazing. And I think to me, Disney is really at their top of the game when it comes to entertainment. And for me, I just kind of absorbed all of that knowledge, the skills and the things that we did wrong. After every performance, we got critiqued, and they would write down notes and say, hey, Jody, you need to do more of this. I need more eye contact. I need bigger, faster, And so it was really eye-opening, and it was really humbling. But again, such a great platform for somebody who just loves music, who loves entertaining. And it opened so many doors for us, too. We were able to jump on the Disney cruise lines. We're actually going back again. So I'm going to be doing Disney cruise lines from Canada to Hawaii in May of this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's thanks to Disney.
So a big part of what we try to do on this podcast is also help other people in their business ventures. And you've been able to transition this love for music, this enjoyment of playing and performing, into a sustainable business for yourself. It's very similar to the freelance journey. Cinematographers, photographers, artists who want to follow their passion don't really know how to make a financial decision about their creative passion. And you've been able to do that well through these different avenues, I think, of entrepreneurship. A lot of people don't really think of artists and musicians as entrepreneurs, but you definitely are, because you have to make a living. And so you've done that through Ukulele Holly, your school, and performing, traveling. Tell me a little bit more about how this became not just what you wanted to do, but how you wanted to create a life for yourself and future generations. How did this become this entrepreneurial journey for you? Going back, I always felt like I had this creative thing, and whatever you call it, entrepreneurship. But when I was a kid, this is funny, but what I would do is I would go to Ben Franklin and purchase these Pixie Sticks. And I knew that if I purchased it in bulk, I could break it up and I could sell it at school. So what I would do was I would put it in packs of 10 and I would sell it to my classmates during recess. Wow.
And I started making, side money there.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, how are you getting all this money, But that's how it kind of started. And I fell in love with that concept of just being able to do it myself and not relying on my parents. And so I think, following, mentors and people that I looked up to who are doing what they love to do, like passionate. I see people like Jake, who's an incredible friend, but he's also a mentor to me. To see what he's doing and making a living out of it was like eye-opening. And I said, you know what, maybe I can do something with music. I can do something with ukulele. So there was a time in 2007 where Bruce and I, his brother, were teaching under Ukulele Essence. And that period was a transitional period for Ukulele Essence as well as Jake's company. And so Jake had offered to kind of take over the school. And so in my mind, I was like, wow, that's such a great opportunity to work again with Jake. And, he's been such a great mentor. And I thought, he already has established his name. I think it almost makes sense as far as a business to just, work with Jake. But it was right around that time where I had, just came back from South Africa. I just experienced this life-changing, monumental thing that really sparked something in me that and there was something in me that said, you have to follow your heart and kind of do what you believe in, your passion, follow all of that. And so I thought about it and I said, you know what, I have my own vision, I have my own mission, and it's different from Jake, which is okay. And so I said, you know what, I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to start my own school. And so and to be honest, it was probably one of the toughest times in my life because, I had graduated college and I had a degree. And I said, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? But again, I just kind of listened to my gut and I said, life is too short. You just got to take some risks and some chances. And so I did. Started Ukulele Hale. And from then on, it's been a journey, finding great instructors, kind of creating this team. And to be honest, it hasn't been a smooth ride. It's
sure
a lot of ups and downs. And entrepreneurship to me, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I think there's so much more to being just an owner or CEO or in control of this business. I think you have to, there's just so much, and I'm still learning, but I do know that I'm passionate about what I do, and I have a vision, and I'm enjoying every step of the process, And really, there's been a lot of setbacks along this journey, and I've really doing the best I can, but to really learn from these setbacks, all the failures that happen. What can I do better? How can I turn that around? So it's really good to have this support system. It's really good to have friends, like yourself, who are business owners, and kind of talk about the ins and outs, the good and the bad. But having that experience from friends and just sharing that knowledge, really helpful. Really helpful.
Yeah, sometimes you just need people who have gone through it to commiserate with, and then other times people are able to lift you up because they've gone through it and they've got a little bit more insight. Mm-hmm. So having people there is definitely an important part of this entrepreneurial journey. Just thinking back through the last, what's it been, 15 years?
It's been, 13 years.
13 years. There's a lot of young entrepreneurs, filmmakers, artists that want to follow their journeys. Is there anything in your past that, like, man, if I could redo that, I might try to redo that along this? Any kind of like tips or thoughts? People just getting started.
I'd say I think the key is making sure that it's something that you're passionate about. When you wake up in the morning, is that really truly your passion? Is that something that you want to do? For me, it's something that I wake up and I can't wait to hit Ukulele Hale, to get to the studio. And so I think one is really finding that passion, whatever that burns inside you, makes you wake up in the morning like, I'm ready. And so if you have that, I think it's that's really important. Also, it's good to have mentors. And so if you know anyone in that field, whatever field it is, if it's music, if it's cinematography, videography, go and talk to them. Talk to these entrepreneurs. Talk to the people who are actually running businesses. Because it's going to be really hard. If you're working at a 9-to-5 job, at anywhere, how are you going to learn like the ins and outs of entrepreneurship? You're not. But if you're immersed and you're connecting with people who are actually doing it, they can give you hands-on experience, knowledge, that will save you years and years and years of trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So what's new for 2020? What kind of resolutions you got? What's going to be happening with Ukulele Hale and Team Hale?
We have a lot going on actually. So we're going to be doing some travel. I'm heading out to do a Disney Cruise Lines with Heart and Soul, and Honoka, who just recently started her solo journey, and Heart and Soul. We are going to be traveling to New Zealand and Niue, and that's coming up in April, May.
Very cool.
So we're really excited about that, as well as Washington they're going to have a luau, so that's pretty cool, Hawaiian luau, and they invited us to perform there. And then with my Team Hale Youth Leadership Group, which is comprised of, there's 13 of us, but these are hand-selected students who, to me, have that leadership capabilities. To me, they are the future leaders of tomorrow. And so I formed this group, and it's been a little over 2 years. And so we had the opportunity to travel to Japan with you guys, and that was an incredible experience, very eye-opening. And so I would love to do more, even if it's not traveling. I think within 2020 with the group, we are planning on getting out into the community more. We definitely want to connect with the people, using that music as a medium to foster these relationships. We also want to do, so in Kanazawa, Japan, on our last tour with the team, we were able to connect with these kids. And so they are coming to Hawaii. That's cool. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be in July. And so we want to host them. We definitely want to show them our culture, but also to share that aloha spirit, as much as what they did to us. They really embraced us, and not knowing who we were, but they kind of welcomed us with open arms, and we want to reciprocate that too. So we're definitely looking forward to that and having them meet the parents. But definitely this year I want to be doing more of giving back. I think we have the time, we have the resources now where we can actually utilize our gift for music to go out into, whether it's the hospitals, care homes, even working with the homeless shelter, but just hopefully uplifting spirits, and bringing joy to people.
That's an amazing mission, to be able to use your passion, build a business that's sustainable, with the goal to just help other people, bring joy, and make people smile. There's something amazing about that, and you get to do that every single day.
It's amazing. I've never met an angry ukulele player, but it's good to be in company of ukulele players who are happy and love what they do and just enjoying life. But in addition to all of that, the business side, I do want to make sure that, I take a little better care of myself. So my health-wise, fill my bucket. And so I've been, whatever you call it, but New Year's resolution, goals, whatever. I just want to start this year exercising and eating right and making sure that I take care of myself so that I can better take care of people.
That's an amazing part of being a leader, is taking that medicine for yourself, right? Taking time for yourself to think through things, behave the way that you teach other people to. It's really taking that to heart. I think that's a good lesson for all of us to take away from this.
Absolutely, and I think, especially with what we do, because we wear so much helmets, as a entrepreneur. I mean, I'm not only the owner of Ukulele Hale, but also an instructor, custodian, psychologist. I'm the guy, the accountant that pays the bills. So there's so many hats that we have to wear, and it's easy to forget to take care of ourselves, because we're always taking care of so many things. So I think in order for us to really be able to take care of my employees or the students, I have to make sure that my bucket is full. And I don't want to be, I call it a bucket dipper. Create my own terms here. But a bucket dipper is, someone who's just negative and so a person that makes people feel bad. But I want to be a bucket filler. And make sure that I can fill my bucket and then pour that into my friends and family and the people that I meet that I really care about. And so we'll see. I have faith that I will stick to this health plan and make sure that my bucket is full. But it's also good to surround yourself with friends and family who kind of keeps myself in check too.
On the personal side, Jody Kamisato, not just the owner of Ukulele Hale, the ukulele player, what are some of the things that you do just for fun?
Fun. People would be surprised, but I love to read. So I love nonfiction. I have a huge collection at my place, but it's just self-help type of things, motivators, inspirational type of books. I love those. I can go on and on. I love nature. So if the weather's nice today, I'm going to try and do a short hike. I love to people watch, love to eat, love to travel. And I love again, I love connecting with people. So if it's a way, if it's using my ukulele to bring some joy or just, connect with people in the hospitals or at schools, I love those kind of things. And I want to do more in 2020.
Do you have a favorite book from 2019 or a favorite recommendation that just really either helped you out, inspired you?
Well, I'm excited about this new one. I just purchased. It's called the Self Journal, and I haven't gotten a chance to start it yet. But I'm what I did was I created a small group of friends to kind of do it together, so that we can keep ourselves in check. And so it's just like short-term, long-term goals. It's like positive affirmations in there. And I've never done a journal, so I'm really kind of stoking about that. So I bought it in 2019. I'm going to start it, let's see, today.
Awesome. Yeah. One of the best ways to keep yourself accountable is to just write it all out. Make sure that you get those things done, checked off, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah, to actually write it
on
down.
Paper.
I have all my I have my instructors, as well as the clients or the people that I work with. To actually write down their short-term and long-term goals. And I think when you do that, it kind of sets things in motion. Because without that, it's really, you're just all over the place.
Yeah.
But if you have it written in stone, and it's okay if you change it a month from now, 2 months from now, because things change. But I like to do that. I also create vision boards for myself. And the trippy thing was I did that 2007, so it's been 13 years. As soon as I got back from South Africa, I read this book called The Secret. It was a Law of Attraction by Rhonda Burns. Create a vision board, cut out all these crazy things, put it under my bed. Took it out like literally mid-summer, like this year, 2019, summertime. And every single one of those things I've actually done or accomplished.
Wow.
Which is, so that means I think I just need to create bigger goals and yeah. I'm excited about that too. So I need to start one this year.
Maybe it's time for a new container under your bed.
Yeah.
New visions, new goals.
Bigger board,
There you go.
bigger visions, bigger goals. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Any last words of wisdom or things you'd love to share?
Well, thanks again for giving me this opportunity. It's always fun chatting with you. I think the key is for myself, it's making the most of every moment. I feel like life is so short, and we get, especially with social media, as much as it connects us all, I feel like it disconnects us in so many ways. So I feel like it's important to just put that down sometimes, put down our laptops, our phones, and to live life. And that's what I want to go into 2020 as well, is really being aware of the moment of now. And like this experience right here is like important. Like it's we're never going to have this again, So to enjoy that moment and not get so caught up in trying to film everything.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see how long that lasts, because I love to do stories and whatnot, but there's moments where I'm just like, Jody, put it down, enjoy the moment, Like ringing in the new year, like everyone had their phones on. I was like, we're not really living in the moment because we're all trying to capture that perfect moment on camera. But there's moments, and that's okay, but I don't want to get immersed in that. So I'd say if we can all live in the moment, appreciate and respect each other's time. I think that's important. To find your passion and go do it. Doesn't hurt. And if you fail, it's okay, because you can always pick yourself up, learn from it, move on.
Amazing words, amazing thoughts, getting us into 2020. Thank you so much, Jody, for being here, being on the B-Rad podcast, and just sharing your experience and your aloha with us.
Thanks for having me.
That wraps us up for the B-Rad podcast. I hope you learned a ton, because it's always an amazing time for me to connect with Jody. If you have some questions or want to connect with us, Jody's on social media at
Ukeboy808 on Instagram. And you can also jump on Facebook, Jody Kamisato, and Ukulele.
and connect with me at Brad Watanabe on all the platforms, and we will connect with you on the next one. Aloha. Oh, snap. Well, thank you. I mean, that's an unexpected surprise, but a very welcome one.
Look at that. Bacon.
What?
Oh.
What?
I'm down for some bacon.
That's probably maple and bacon.
Yeah, dude.
There goes all your New Year's resolutions.
Wow.